Welcome to the 2013 AICPA Family Law Conference podcast. My name is Kiara Speed, and I am with the AICPA. Today I'm joined by Randy Kessler, committee member for the Family Law Conference. Hi, Randy.
Good morning.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience in family law?
Sure. Look, the first thing I want to say is I have a passion for what I do, and I'm very, very lucky to have that passion. So I not only practice family law, but I like doing things like this, like helping educate people that know less about family law, whether it's accountants that don't do it every day or lawyers that may partially practice family law. So I've been very involved in CLEs my entire practice. But briefly, I grew up in New Orleans, went to undergrad in Boston at Brandeis University, and I graduated from law school at Emory in 1988 and opened my own firm in 1991. And I pretty much took everything that came in the door. I was a young lawyer, hungry, and really gravitated towards divorce work, where I saw immediate benefits of helping people put bad times behind them and move on and bring closure to a bad time and hopefully move forward. And I enjoyed it, became active in the bar, became the chair of the family law section of the Atlanta bar, and eventually the chair of the family law section of the Georgia bar and the chair of the family law section of the American bar. Some people would call me a bar junkie, but I'm more of a family law bar junkie. I enjoy being around family lawyers that share experiences and make each other better, and hopefully that trickles down to helping their clients. I teach family law at John Marshall Law School in Atlanta, and I've done that for about 10 years. And I like to write. I've written a forms book for Georgia and another book on the basics of family law that will be coming out hopefully within the next few months. But that's a quick summary of my family law background.
Excellent. You have an extensive experience within family law. So then, for those who have never attended the Family Law Conference, why should they attend this year? What are the benefits of the conference?
Good. Number one, they're going to enjoy themselves, and they're going to meet people that are doing the same thing, and they're going to share their concerns, and they're going to learn probably more in the hallways before and after programs, saying, what I learned, here's what I learned, and sharing things with each other at meals and at breaks. But there's a social side, but it's an educational social side to it as well. But the seminar, it's always chock full of good tips, and I always think if you come back with one pearl of wisdom, it's worth going, and there are going to be 1,000 pearls with this one. The topics are going to basically teach you how not to be afraid to testify, how to not fear family law attorneys, because family law attorneys fear accountants. They can run circles around us with numbers, and it's how to work together, realizing we're all on the same side. We're trying to figure out how to bring resolution to a family's mess, despite their own emotional involvement, the client's emotions getting in the way. And it's just, to me, it's fascinating. The whole process is fascinating of combining, financial organization and understanding with an emotional, obfuscation or interruption of the process. And that's sort of the big picture. But the small picture is just look at the speakers. They're people that have spoken many times that understand how to convey the information and how to spoon feed some of the basics to those that haven't practiced family law or been an expert witness, to those that have done it but want to learn other tips and tricks.
Gotcha. And so piggybacking off of that a little bit, additionally, if someone attended in 2011, why should they attend again this year?
Because they've got a good base now, and and some of the stuff, look, some of it's complex, and some of it's complicated, and some of it needs to sink in. But it's always good to have a refresher. As a lawyer, we get involved in our cases, and as accountants, folks get involved in the details and the nuts and bolts of what they're doing every day. It's always nice to step back and say, why are we doing this? Why do we have to be ethical? Why do we have to do it by the book? And you step back and you see the big picture concepts that really govern what we do, and what lawyers do and what accountants do. It's a profession, and it reminds you that it is a professional and that we should be professional. And I think that also helps you in business. It helps you gain a better reputation, gain more business, maybe able to charge more. There are probably 100 answers to that question, but the topics, have that in mind, that there will be a lot of people that have gone to the program before, and so it does sort of take it up another level. Cloud computing is more of an issue nowadays than it was back then. The rules that are changing. There's more experience with collaborative law. There's just things that are developing that this will help keep people on the cutting edge of what's new in forensic evaluation work for family law.
Great. So everyone knows there are a lot of conferences with regards to accounting or law. In your opinion, what makes this conference unique as compared to other events of this nature?
Well, I said earlier I'm involved in a lot of continuing legal education, and I love doing that, but this program probably has more planning and more forethought going into it than just about any program I've ever been involved with. I mean, the meetings that we've had on the steering committee, the discussions that start well over a year in advance, what's on the program is wonderful, but the ideas that were rejected or that we culled these ideas from were vast. So it took a lot of effort and a lot of forethought. And I think a lot of times you have an organization that just throws seminars every month, and they put together, oh, you're willing to speak? Great, let's do a panel, and that's it. And that's not how this one was developed. This one was developed with a lot of thought for the audience and how the audience is going to benefit. So if you just read through the program, you'll see how organized it is and how there are, seminars going on simultaneously for those people that want to have one area filled and not the other, and then the big ones everyone goes to. And I can't wait to hear the judge from Albuquerque, because I've got some friends that practice in Albuquerque, and they say it's a fascinating place for family law, so I'm looking forward to his remarks.
Well, wonderful. And I know that you will also be presenting at the conference this year. Can you tell us a little bit about the sessions you will be presenting?
Sure. I'm very happy to be doing it. My 3 sessions are tips for testifying. Another one, which is sort of my baby now, practice with a passion, do good, and get paid. And the last one would be marketing your practice to lawyers. Tips for testifying are just things that people like me who are in court all the time take for granted. And people that are attending the seminar that don't go to court often may not think about. And they're just things that once you think about them, they make sense. It's a very commonsensical program. Things like when you're testifying, even though the lawyer is asking you the question, you don't need to convince the lawyer of your answer. You need to convince the judge. Look at the judge. Think about, the judge's knowledge base, not the lawyer's knowledge base. The lawyer knows the case. The judge does not. Make it simple for someone who's an outsider. Things like that. They're just common sense tips that it'll be good to hear, and then hopefully those little words will be in the back of your mind if you're ever testifying or you're ever called upon to testify in court or in deposition. The practice with a passion, which is session number 16 on May 10th, is something that I've worked very hard on, and I'm going to talk a lot about, if you can find something about your practice that you love, find some aspect of it that you're benefiting families or that you are supporting your own family or whatever it is that drives you, think about it, and it'll make you better at what you do. It's just better to enjoy what you do and to also make the best use of time. We don't just bill hours. We don't just do work just to fill the hours and fill out a sheet that says we've spent the time. Find a way to do what you love, and the time will fly, and find a way to economize the time you spend for clients, and I'm going to talk a lot about that. We'll also talk a little bit about how to make sure you get paid, how to make sure that the fee arrangements are clear in advance, because you don't want to do all this work and then not get paid. And that happens a lot in family law, where clients exhaust all of their funds because they don't have a reserve bank account anticipating a divorce. Very few people anticipate a divorce when they get married. So we'll cover sort of that hodgepodge of practice tips. And then marketing your practice to lawyers, again, I've presented on this before, and I'll have some new ideas, but it's really going to be about how do you make sure that lawyers send you cases, since lawyers are the ones that typically will invite you in or hire you to be a forensic expert. Things that make sense to me, because I do it every day, may be a new idea to somebody in the audience, and I want to share with them how my mind works when a client comes in that has a complex financial situation and I need a forensic person. Who do I decide to use? Why do I decide to use them? How do I get in touch with them? What makes me want to use them again? What makes me not want to use them again? Because even though there's a client that we will share, in a way I'm sort of also a client for you all, and you all want me to be a satisfied customer so that I come back to you again and again. So I'll share those ideas and thoughts with the group.
This was great information. I'm sure our listeners found of great value. Lastly, Randy, is there anything additional that you would like to add that we have not discussed today with regards to the conference?
Well, mainly I think the people that come should take advantage, and not just by going to the seminars, but if there's something of interest, if you have an interest in being a judge, talk to the judge that's there, or how the judges' minds work. If you want to know something about trends in family law and what's going to happen, for instance, with gay marriage and with DOMA ask the people that are there, because these are leaders, Greg Ortiz and Bobby Batista, Bobby Batley, excuse me, what's happening in the world of collaborative law. You know, they're going to be experts there, and we're all there for one reason, and that's to help each other. And people that volunteer their time to come out and speak and that want to be a part of this want to help. And when I come back from the seminar, I want to feel like I had an impact and I helped somebody, you know, hopefully at least in a small way. So please feel free to approach me and the other speakers and say, I really wanted to learn about this. I didn't get enough. Can you fill me in? And I'll sit with you, or we'll put it on the agenda for the next program. But by all means, speak up, tell us your concerns, talk to us, and tell us what we can do for you, because it's all about making people enjoy it and making them want to come back and do it again and again and again.
Wonderful. I want to thank you for speaking with us today, Randy. For all of you, the Family Law Conference takes place May 8th through 10th, 2013 at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. Register by April 8th and save $75. And for those FBS section members, you can save an additional $100. To register, please go to www.cpa2biz.com/conferences. Thank you.
This concludes Part 1 of the AICPA Conferences team's podcast series on the 2013 AICPA Family Law Conference. For more information and to register for the conference, please go to www.cpa2biz.com/fmlaw or call 888-777-7077. Stay tuned for Parts 2 and 3 of this series coming soon.